And welcome back to Community Focus. Glad you could join us today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in Nelson County. And Nelson County Library is one of the places that I like to visit on a regular basis. We've got Sharon Shanks here with us. And Sharon, first of all, Sharon brought me gifts. And I like anybody who brings me gifts. So thanks for being here today. And Sharon, now your title, basically,
I'm the director of the Nelson County Public Library.
Nelson County Public Library. Now that includes Bardstown, Bloomfield, and New Haven, I suppose.
That's correct, and the bookmobile.
And the bookmobile. So the library, for somebody that hasn't been in the library for, say, 10, 15 years, I mean, they're going to be shocked when they walk in there and see what's available anymore. Because I remember the library used to be up there where the old post office was.
On the Court Square.
And it was a nice place, but obviously it's so much nicer now.
It is. And that's a large part due to the community support and, of course, the tax revenue and the progressiveness of this community to realize how important public libraries are to support the schools and people of all ages.
Now, when somebody thinks of a library, I mean, if you've been around for several years and you haven't been to the library, you think of a library, you think of a building's full of books. And yeah, you're full of books. But you also DVDs, you've got CDs, you've got people. I mean, every time I go in there, you've got all these people sitting around on computers that are logging into the internet. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on at the library besides just a bunch of books.
And that's a huge part of what's so important about libraries now, because there are so many sources of information now. Digital, paper information, even an example of this, even the IRS and the Kentucky State Department, they're not sending out tax forms. You have to get them online, or we get them and print them out for our patrons. And it's just, there's almost nothing you can do without being involved somehow with the internet, applying for jobs, and with all of the economic impact to our community and state, the world. It's been really important for people to be able to come in and check on their benefits. We have travelers that come through, tourists, who check their bank accounts and make transactions online. There are many, many people who have been employed in the same job for many years, find themselves unemployed, and they need to apply for new jobs, and the only way to apply is online. So with that, we have ongoing classes at the branches for people who don't have any experience with computers, help with resume development, preparation for interviews.
Well, I didn't know you did all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the most important things I can tell anyone is to go to our website. It's at www.nelsoncopublib.org and check out our calendar of events. We have programs from infancy throughout your life. Not just educational things or commercial things, but fun things too. Not just for the kids, the adults. We have lots of crafting. You can learn to play bridge. You can learn to knit. Our goal was to be the community's living room, where you come, sit down, talk to your friends. You can be undirected, or you can participate in a plethora of different kinds of programs that are enriching and fun.
Well, you mentioned your website a few minutes ago, and that is something that's exciting if you haven't been on there for a while, because I actually checked out an ebook, and I've never done that before. It was a few months ago. I checked out an ebook, and I said, this is going to be interesting. In 2 weeks, you took it back. So I thought that was interesting too, because it was you check it back in just like you do a regular book, and it was up right there on my iPad.
We have been a member probably for 6 or 7 years of a statewide consortium called Overdrive, and it's really a national service, but we have a state consortium. We all donate or contribute about $5,000 a year, and you can buy more if you want to, and for that you get the use of the equipment, and we're able to have thousands of ebooks available, audiobooks, and actually I think this month there were 968 ebooks downloaded from that site.
It's
by
fascinating.
our
I didn't know.
patrons.
I didn't even know you could do that. Like I said, I had to be just going through, and there was a book I wanted to see, and I said, well, I think I was going to write it down, check it out next time I come in the old-fashioned way, and I saw an ebook. I clicked on it. Next thing you know, there it is on my iPad, and I thought, well, this is wild.
That's it is. They download to your any device, and each year they make it more convenient so that there's not so many steps you have to go through to download it. The only drawback I can say is sometimes you have to wait, just like you do for a hardbound book. You have to wait.
You wouldn't think so. You'd think the internet's out there and there's a million of them, but they are limited. So I guess
they are. Well, it's the publishers who put the ebooks out there. They don't want to make it too cheap.
Right, I understand.
So the library pays more for them than the individual would, and we get some of them. We get to use them 24 times, and we have to buy them again. You know,
well, that is a question I have, and I hadn't even thought of it till you just brought it up there about books. I mean, you have first-run books. I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and with Star Wars, a new book comes out within weeks. You've got it just as quick as the bookstores have it. So how does
here's how it works. We have access to many journals, Publishers Weekly, the Library Journal, and all. And our main book supplier, now we have many vendors that we get, especially children's and young adult books from, but we order a lot of our materials from Ingram Company, and that's in Tennessee, is the distributor. When the books come out, usually on a Tuesday, we generally have them and they're processed before the release date, and so they're ready to go out on the shelf. And one of the best stories I can tell you about how I ended up in this job, part of the journey, is I used to travel quite a bit by car, and I listened to NPR a lot. So that would be where I'd get my list of things I wanted to read. 9 times out of 10, and this is later when we had cell phones or earlier when I'd get back to the office, I would call the library and say, do you have... And they would have it.
Yeah.
Almost every time they already had it. And that means so much when you read something in the paper. You don't want to wait a month. You know, you want to know what this is about right now.
Oh yeah, the second there's a release date comes out, I usually give it about a week or so. Then usually I'll check, come to the library. There. Now a lot of times if I get there late, somebody's already get it checked out.
Right.
But it's there, so that the point is. Now I see on some of the things you brought with you today, you got obviously a schedule to be jam-packed schedule, everything going on. People needing help with their ACT and all kinds of things.
That's a very important program that's going on right now. We're right in the middle. The ACT practice test nationally is March 3rd, and throughout the month of February and January, the 29th is when we started. We've been doing ACT prep classes at the library, and all these things are free. You know, all you have to do is just sign up so we know how many to prepare for. And I'd have to say that I wish I'd had more than just the workbook on my own, because they've had math specialists, and we have had, Mr. Ballard has come in every week and dedicated his time to providing not just the subject matter that will be covered, but how you take a test.
Yeah.
You know, lots of people are not good at test taking.
Right,
so,
right.
you know, they need help.
That's the skill,
technique.
because in the Air Force, that's one of the things I did in the Air Force was was a trainer on how to take the test. And I want to tell you people out there right now, if you're looking to get your child in college, and you're a student yourself, the ACT is extremely important. The score you get on your ACT, and every little point or part of a point you can get better on that test makes a tremendous difference in getting into a college. And so this ACT it's outstanding, the fact that you're offering this.
So the next 2 sessions are February 17th and February 24th after school, and they're from 6 to 8, and they will be the review of all of the sections that have been covered in the test. And then there'll be a celebration party March 3rd. So even if you haven't participated in the past reviews, you're welcome to come for the comprehensive reviews on the 17th and the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You got your book club.
Yes. This is very important. I want to highlight too, because with recent events all over the country, but here in our own community, the pressures of internet correspondence, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all these. Information is coming at our young developing minds continuously, and it's not all good. And we've seen...
You mean you can't believe everything you read on the internet?
Another reason why libraries are great, because it's our job to try to filter through and separate the facts from the fluff, you know? And so, anyway, but a young adult book club started, and people are welcome to join still. The 5th was the first meeting, and there'll be 3 other meetings, and it's about making choices. And the title, one of the things I brought you is a band, a little wristband that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And the
Some
teens,
guy by the name of Gandhi said
yeah,
that.
some guy, the name of Gandhi. Where is he now? The library wanted to be a place where people can talk and exchange ideas and support the community. So they're reading, the young adults are reading a book called 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. And they will be discussing the book as they read it. And it is about a teenager who sends a recording to 13 people. And they are scheduled to receive this recording after her passing. And she talks about the pressures of growing up, and we've all been through it. And it's a profound book, and we are asking that young people sign up to join the book club, and we have also a permission slip, because there are very important issues, and just like with any other library material that your family checks out, the parents are the number one stopgap,
Yeah.
the touch point, the benchmark, whatever you want to call it, because everything in the world is out there to be obtained by young people.
Right.
And we are the only ones, you know, that are between what goes on there. And it's a huge job. So we ask that parents sign a permission slip for their child to participate, their youth.
Well, I saw the schedule you brought in, and it's a pretty comprehensive schedule, as you mentioned.
Right.
There's about a half page there, programs and events for children and teens, but a page and a half for programs and events for adults. And that's what a lot of people probably could get confused about. Because you think of a library, you think of
Story
young
hour.
people, you think of younger people going and checking out a book and learning something for school or college or something of that nature. But it's way beyond that.
Way beyond. We have programming for adults. A lot of people come to the library every day, and they read the newspaper, because when you look at, you know, the cost of internet service, newspaper service, you know, we have Wall Street Journal, we have the Sunday New York Times, thanks to a donation from one of our patrons. We have 130 some magazines that we subscribe to for all ages, children, teens, and adults. The Kentucky Standard, of course, the Lexington Herald, and several other magazines and publications. And we keep backlogs, so we're able to.
And I know you still have your genealogy section.
We do, and growing all the time. We have been very fortunate to have a genealogy roundtable, the Nelson County Genealogy Roundtable. They have worked for decades to accumulate and guide us in, you know, procurement of certain materials. And I've heard from all over the country as well as the state that our accumulation of documents and files is pretty outstanding.
Well, I know
It
I've gotten
is.
several testimonials of people
Right.
that tell me that. Tim Ballard, I mean,
Tim has been a jewel. He has
well,
volunteered
I've never
every
heard Tim
Saturday.
described as a jewel before.
Well, he
but
is,
that's okay.
and he's not even in the rough. He's just a jewel, because he volunteered every Saturday to work there. Now he's doing the ACT prep for us, right? So-
Tim's a great guy. I know.
Yes, he is.
But I'm just looking over right now, Pinterest. I know, or if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Right.
I have no idea what that even is, but apparently it's getting to be more popular.
and what
all
you're
the-
interested in.
Well, I guess
and then you
like
can
it's-
share with other people.
It's part of the social network that I'm not sure. That's one of the things I've never done, don't know a thing
Right.
about. But if you want to learn, Yoga. I mean, now, do you think if you think of the library, would you think that's where you're going to go? And
Huge turnout for yoga, Zumba, and mind you, we have exercise at all the different locations. So you don't have to live in Bloomfield and drive to Bardstown. You can go in Bloomfield or New Haven.
learn bridge.
Right.
Let's see. And of course, the ACT, heart healthy eating. Now, that's something that everybody needs to know a little bit about.
Let's not go there.
Well, yeah, like I say, that's not necessarily my main course, but we all should be taking that course.
That's right.
CPR classes. I mean, that's something that everybody should know is how to do CPR. I mean, it's just so much going on there. Now, if somebody wanted to learn something that's not on this list, I mean, obviously, is there some way? Do they have a resource where they can say, "Hey, Sharon, you don't have this on here, but I'd like to learn this."
Right.
What would you do then?
Carol Elliott is our adult programming coordinator, and she is always looking for ideas and things that people are interested in. And that's how we start a lot of our programs, because people come in and ask.
Right.
We have a reference librarian who is Holly Lawrence, and she and Rachel Harris have done a great job in cultivating programming for young people of all ages, teens, tweens, adolescents. And of course our children's librarian, Stephanie King, who they have expanded and have what they call lap sit now for infants and parents, getting the message through that it's never, ever, ever too early to start reading and talking to your child.
Well, the thing about the library too, and if you haven't been in a while, again, it's divided into sections. Very quiet place to learn, and it's not somebody going around and shushing you all the time, but still at the same time, you got a tremendous children's section that I've wandered into time and again, and it is almost as big a wing as the main section of the library.
You hear children screaming, and it's because they don't want to get up from the computer or the puzzle desk, But we have a constant flow of people, and we have about an average of 145 community meetings in those meeting rooms, and they are free of charge for public meetings like clubs, not personal events, but community events and training.
Well, like I said, it's an exciting place to be, and again, I hope you get a chance. I was in the Marion County Library a few weeks ago myself, and they've got a beautiful facility over there as well. Stopped in there to check out something, but at the same time, I spent a lot of time here at the New Haven Library and the one in Bloomfield, and obviously the one in Bardstown. So I know that you've got your hands full with 3 beautiful libraries and a bookmobile, and it's been a long time since I've been on the bookmobile. When I was a kid at the grade school, the bookmobile come by once a week, and that's where I got all my books. But
that's still what happens at our private schools, St. Anne's, St. Gregory, whatnot.
I was at Holy Cross.
Right. And the bookmobile does serve about 750 kids a month, as well as nursing homes, Nazareth. She goes to neighborhoods. She goes to families. We do a great support for homeschoolers as well. So she covers around 800 miles a month in her program.
And if you don't have an internet, it's a good place to stop in, and you get on there an hour at a time. I know probably more than that if you recheck it out. But I, matter of fact, stopped in and used that a few weeks ago because I was not close to my computer at work, and I needed to get on the internet. And I walked up to the lady and said, "How do I go about that?" She says, "As long as you got your library card."
Right.
So she scanned my library card and gave me a password, and I was on the computer for about an hour, and it worked out well.
And you can bring your device, because we have twice as many people logging in to this internet at all 3 branches than we do actually using the computer desk.
Well, that's fantastic. Again, so to get a library card, no cost.
No cost.
You just come in, fill out a form,
and proof of your residency. Where do you live?
And this library card is not good just in Nelson County. Is it good?
No, it's our library. Our cards are good in Nelson County. They don't span.
Okay, well, I just always wonder if you get a library card in one library, does it work in every library in the world?
No, everybody has their
Everybody's
own.
got their own. Okay, well, I just wanted to clear that up. But they didn't say anything when I went to Marion County, but I didn't check out a book. I was just looking up some reference stuff there.
And lots of times you can go there and just use a computer at any library. Just shows, they just put you on as a guest.
All right, well, we're going to invite you to come on and stop in. Again, it's a wonderful place to stop in for a day. And like you said, you got regular visitors that come by nearly every day.
Yes.
So you can come in and there's a little social network of its own. So Sharon Shanks here with the Nelson County Public Library. We do appreciate you stopping
Thank you,
in. And if
Kenny.
you got anything new that comes up that we need to know about, please come stop in and let our listeners know,
Okay.
or our watchers, and we'll keep everybody up to date on what's going on, because it is a wonderful resource.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, thank
Really
you. And thank you
appreciate
for tuning in. And we'll be back in a few minutes on Community Focus here on Central Kentucky TV, Channel 6. We'll be right back.